All right, some potential debuts. Now, we kind of touched on this a little bit before. I'll just pull up the next graphic. A few of these boys we sort of talked about. But I'll just go through a few other names on the list that haven't played an AFL game. Some senior listed boys that haven't played a game yet. So we've got Connor O'Sullivan. We spoke about him. Sean Manor. Phoenix Foster. Mitch Hardy was the mid-season draft, I think it was. Mitchell Edwards. Joe Furphy. Lawson Humphreys. Oscar Murdoch. Second year at the club for Oscar. George Stevens, James Bruce Willis, second year at the club as well, and Ollie Wiltshire. I haven't said his name twice, have I? So there's a few names there, and I think the general consensus from most of us, at least, was that Shawnee Manor was probably what Guernsey number are we up to, Paul? You'd know this you remember this one when we had this chat a while ago. It's 1019 or something.
Geelong.
1019.
No, I'm not going to be able to find that information off the top of my head. I'll smash the Google in a moment, but it was a big number. It was a big number. It'll be good to see a few of these guys add to that tally over the course of the year. Of course, that means some of the older guys are out at that point, and so for every addition, there's got to be some subtractions. I am curious to kind of see who potentially makes way, whether it's through injury or whether it's these guys are bashing the door down, and maybe there's some weaker links within the starting. And I guess I'm kind of half segueing here to your 23 coming up, Ben. But do the likes of Zach Toohey and Jake Kolajazzi and those sort of guys who are, in the back ends of their career and are maybe a little bit vulnerable, do they start creating gaps for some of these blokes who are potentially dominating? Does Shawnee Manor, because Gary Rowan's out at the moment, stands to be out for round one, does he take that opportunity? Because he obviously did a pretty great job during the preseason game. I think he only played half of it, didn't he? And lit it up pretty quickly. So there's opportunities there, and it's just a matter of when they emerge, are these guys ready to take them? And my hope is that's a yes, but we'll have to see.
How many debuts do you think we're going to see? I think most years, and anyone else can chip in with this as well, but I reckon most years we might see 2 to 3, sometimes 4 at a stretch, but very rarely do you see in a strong, successful club like Geelong, you don't really see that many debuts.
Oh, yeah. The only thing sorry, you go, Paul.
Oh, no, sorry, go on. No, please.
The only thing I'd say, I guess, is that, the last couple of seasons we've seen Geelong give goes to guys like your Ollie Dempsey comes to mind, even when you're having a strong year, because you have the luxury of being able to rest someone. If the Cats are doing well, in some ways it's like you might be just as likely to see a handful of debuts if you've got one where you're like, we're probably going to chalk that up, or it's a dead rubber or whatever. But my little contribution here would just be, I would love to see James Willis get to the point where he could earn a debut. Anyone who's watched him in the VFL, he just flashes this incredible explosive upside. But a bit like we talked about with Flynn Kroger earlier, injury has just hampered him the whole time. We drafted him in 2021, so this is actually his third season.
I thought
at the Cats. Yeah, and it's been really hard for him to crack into the VFL team because of injury. When he does play, it's a high variance. But there's a game, I think it was against Southport last year, and he kicked 3 goals, had, I can't remember, it was somewhere around 20 touches, and just showed a really explosive upside. But ideal world, he gets healthy this year and delivers on all the potential he has coming out of the draft a few years ago. So that'd be my wish casting, I suppose, that out of that group we get to see James Willis pull on the AFL level hoops.
I reckon 2/3 to 3/4 of those players that I've just rattled off are probably not going to get an opportunity this year, which kind of is really, that sucks for them. And I want all of them to get a chance, but I also want success on the field for the Cats as well.
For a bit of context, we had eight players debut for the Cats last year. Now, admittedly, some of those were the likes of Now, admittedly, just to, I guess for that bit of context, some of those were your Tanner Bruins and Ollie Henrys that come from other clubs.
Yeah.
But
okay.
I think that's 2.
No, I'm probably thinking more first.
Sorry, Jack Bowes as well. So I guess that leaves 5 that debuted, played their first ever game.
I guess if you sort of think about just your first game of AFL footy,
we had 5 last year then.
Yes, that's still pretty high though, isn't it?
2 in the final game of the season.
Closey.
So it was Conway,
Clark,
Mullen, Jai Clark, and Cooper White. That's the 5.
Yep.
Wow.
And also, whoever debuts first will be cap number 1,113. Phoenix Foster, we've already declared on
1,113.
Summer Series.
Okay.
So
Okay, Johnny, how many debuts are we getting this year from you? What's your number?
Oh,
Is it we're getting another 5 this year? 5 last year, 5 this year. Transition.
I'm going to say, 1, 2. I'm going to get about 4 or 5.
Okay, so about 9 over 2 years.
Yeah.
And then I think to your point, Jake, as well. When the team's going well, you might get a chance to debut, but you're not going to get a 5 or 6 week stretch in the ones, are you? That's probably the downside to it. But you reckon 4 or 5, John, is probably what your pick was?
Yeah, I reckon 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Connor O'Sullivan, Sean Manor, hopefully Phoenix Foster, and I reckon George Stevens is in for a sneaky chance to get in there, and then one of the others. I'm not sure who else would get a chance.
Be a few happy people if George Stevens got an opportunity.
Oh, yes.
I think we're a few fans out there that are already taking a bit of a liking to him.